This is a toddler tower or helper tower design by Anna White. It is a great design, very easy to build with minimal tools and woodworking experience. This video is not about how to build one. I will put a link to her design and plans in the description. This video is more of a review and discussion of things I would or wouldn't do differently if I was building one again, or recommendations for you if you were building one. So the great thing about this tower is that it's adjustable. This bottom platform you can take out and put on different levels here so it grows with your kid as they grow. First note there is that her plans don't have this upper guardrail. She does say you can add more rails to suit the needs of your kid. So without this one here, for a younger toddler's just learning to stand, the sides are definitely open. There's a big enough opening here for the kid to just fall out. So definitely recommend adding these upper rails. I think I started this when my son was just a little over a year old, or somewhere between a year and 18 months. So for an older kid, like a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, you probably don't need that. But for a younger kid, you definitely want this extra level of guardrails. The next big decision or major change you might need to make, most of this design is made out of 1x2s, which looks very nice. It's nice and slim and compact. But sometimes my kids make me nervous because they climb and jump on this thing. So they'll use the 1x2s as sort of ladder rungs, or just stand in the middle and jump, or climb on the outside. And nothing has broken yet, but I can hear it creaking, and it makes me a little nervous. So if your kids are really climbers and jumpers, you might want to go with thicker lumber. Probably not 2x4s for something in your kitchen, because then it's going to look super big and clunky, but you can see these top pieces here are 2x3s, or maybe you could use 2x2s instead of 1x2s for the vertical posts in the corners. So again, depending on how rough your kids are, this 1x2 design looks really nice and is nice and slim, but might not hold up to abuse and climbing and jumping on it. The one major thing I would definitely do differently if I was going to do this again is making a solid inner platform. So this design where you have two pieces with a gap in between looks nice, but it is a nightmare to clean. If I zoom in there, you can just see like the accumulated gunk and brownie batter from my son standing in this thing. Oh, that's disgusting in there. Standing in this thing, helping my wife bake, and just all sorts of goop gets dropped down there in that gap, and it's nearly impossible to get in there and clean out. So I would definitely just make this one solid piece out of a piece of plywood, or if you have these two pine boards like I have, glue those together so there's no gap and you just have a flat surface to clean, because it is just gross in there. The final thing I'll note is there are these anti-tip boards on the side, so this whole thing is removable. You can unscrew this piece from the legs, but it has these corners that stick out in both directions to help prevent tipping, which we really need for my son. He likes to stand in this thing and hold the rail and just rock it, and would probably knock it over if those were not there. The problem is that we walk by and kick these things all the time. I am actually surprised we haven't managed to just break one off yet, because, you know, you're looking up high, you see the profile of this thing, your brain kind of expects the edge to be here, you're not looking down at your feet, and you just walk by and stub your toes or trip on the edges. So, and you probably want those for a kid who's going to climb, again, especially if they're climbing the outside or shaking this thing. But if I was doing this again, I would probably make them much taller. So rather than just having these little pieces at the bottom, kind of make this a bigger triangle that goes up to here, that again is probably not really necessary structurally, but makes it much more visible. So if this was a taller piece that went, you know, maybe not all the way at the top, but halfway up, or even up another foot or something, just to make it more visible as you're walking by, then maybe that would make you less likely to trip on it. So again, this is not my design. Credit for the design and the plans goes to Anna White. Those are just some thoughts after building one. You can find the link to her plans in the description. If you've built one, or you have any thoughts or suggestions, go ahead and leave a comment on this video. Thank you.